Fair use clause. Fair use clause is defined as copying any copyrighted material in limited amounts without needing permission from the original creator. The importance of fair use clause is that it allows for individuals to use others' work in very small amounts without having to necessarily have their own original work. An example would be a teacher pulling quick clips from movies to create a new video for her students, and as long as it does not compete with the original content, there are technically no legal consequences. Fair use clause can be used for different educational purposes, such as research in newspapers. Students can use fair use clause by pulling little bits and pieces of information for papers. Teachers can use fair use clause for ideas for lesson plans, so looking at other teachers' lesson plans will be an example, as long as they just get ideas rather than copying the whole thing. Fair use clause works with creative videos to catch students' attention, so like in the last slide, talking about a teacher pulling in little bits and pieces from other movies or clips to create their own original work to catch students' attention, that would be fair use clause. And pulling brief excerpts from much longer works, so pulling a chapter out of a book would be another example of fair use clause within an education setting. Some examples of fair use would be mashups and remixes, movie reviews, parodies, lesson plans, excerpts from books, and research purposes. Now that we know what fair use clause is, I'm going to do a reflection of the book, What to Do When You're Mad, a self-regulation workbook for kids and their parents. Fair use clause states that you can only use 10% or less of a book or whatever you're pulling information from. So looking at the book, What to Do When You're Mad, I do think that only pulling 15 pages is still a small amount, but I do think that it would not be a correct example of fair use clause because the book is so small, and I worry that pulling 15 pages would throw it as copywriting rather than being fair use. So that's my reflection on the book, and yeah. Here are some of the resources used for researching fair use clause and helping me do my reflection on the book.